nice and warm in your coop? Do chilly? Aww. They don't want to come out. Welcome to the Jack Homestead. It's the day after Thanksgiving, and I am starting on my turkey bone broth. If you've been following us, I have been saving my vegetable scraps, onions, celery, carrots, a bunch of herbs from last year that I had frozen that I thought I would throw in there also. Some thyme, some parsley, oregano, things like that. I threw that all in here, and it is cooking on low, and we will be making our own bone broth. Welcome back to the Jack Homestead. We were out hunting this morning, and when we came in, we decided to strain the broth. I'm sorry we didn't film. We weren't thinking. We were doing too much. But we let it cook all night last night. I tasted it a couple times, and we decided that we needed to add more herbs to it to give it a little bit more flavor. And it definitely seemed to work, because this morning it tastes really good. Mr. Jack is going to skim that fat that you see on the top, and once we get that fat off the top, we are going to can it up and put it in the pressure canner. It pressure cans at 10 pounds for 25 minutes, and then we will have our own homemade broth. I'm hoping to get 3 quarts, but Mr. Jack doesn't think that we're gonna get 3 quarts. But any little bit is free broth that we don't have to buy. And it tastes 10 times better because it doesn't have any preservatives or junk in it. It's just pure from the bones with some vegetable scraps, and it tastes phenomenal. You just want to skim the top, all the fat out. And it basically looks like gelatin, and that's all you want to scrape out. Well, Mr. Jack is not following my recipe, so I'm just gonna let him do what he wants to do. I don't recommend this, just so you all know.
I used to have a cup that was had a spout on the bottom, and the grease and stuff would float to the top, and you could turn that to get just the stock. That's enough. Look, see how much grease I took out of it?
Yeah. Now I'm gonna ladle it into the jars, and then we will put it in the pressure canner.
get back to you as soon as we get all these covered up and just before we put them in the pressure can.
Okay, so we got 3 quarts and 1 pint out of that stock, which I'm impressed with because I was afraid we were only going to get 2 quarts. So we got 3 quarts and a pint, and we're going to put the lid on the pressure cooker. And we wait until the steam comes out the top. And then we start the timer and we put the weight on, right?
You do 10 minutes when the steam's coming out. And then after 10 minutes of that flowing out, just nothing but steam. And then we put the weight on. And then we'll adjust the heat so that the weight just kind of goes like this. It'll go kind of like this. Or it'll be like that. That's how you can.
You didn't say how long.
25 minutes, according to I think it's the National Food Preservation .org. I think that's where we got it from. There's a lot of different recipes you can use and ways to do this. So whichever one you're comfortable with is what you probably want to use to pick out. Some people will probably water bath this.
No, you can't water bath. You cannot water bath broth.
Oh, there you go. I didn't know that.
You have to pressure can it.
You got to pressure can it. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to pressure can it, and we'll show you what it looks like when we get done. 25 minutes.
Okay, just took them out of the canner. They're still bubbling, as you can see, but they look fabulous. Turkey broth, bone broth out of the bones, and scrap vegetables. Looking delicious. Snowy day today. So Mrs. Jack, it's a Sunday. We are allowed to hunt in Pennsylvania today. We did go out this morning, but we've seen absolutely no deer whatsoever. It's snowing, so they might be bedded down. And we're going to go out later, but I came in because there's a couple things I wanted to do. I still had some cranberries in my fridge and I don't want them to go bad, so I'm going to make more cranberry sauce. I'm not going to do a video on it because I already did. So you can search our YouTube channel, The Jack Homestead, to find the video on the cranberry sauce. But I'm making some more. It was a big hit at Thanksgiving. I got several compliments from people that I gave it to, and I really enjoyed myself too. So I'm going to make some more with what we have in the fridge. But I'm going to show you what I'm doing for the first time today. I am making my own homemade vanilla. Now, as everybody should know, if you do any kind of baking, the price of vanilla is absolutely outrageous. So, this here, in this quart-sized jar, is 4 cups of vodka. It calls for 80 proof vodka. Any brand, you could get the cheapest brand, but 80 proof vodka. I ladled it into a jar, and now I have my vanilla beans. Now, I bought these beans on Amazon. I could not find them in any stores around here. What I have learned is you want to use the Madagascar vanilla beans. They're the ones that you make extract with, but you should use grade B Madagascar vanilla beans. They are better, they're cheaper, and they are better for making the extract, but I could only find the grade A, which is fine. You can use the grade A also, it's just a little bit more expensive. And usually you cook with the grade A vanilla beans. But anyway, I'm going to cut open this package and I'm going to be slicing each one in half. And I will scrape some of the vanilla beans out of it, and I will be putting it in the jar with the vodka. But I will not put you through that process of me cutting open the beans and all of that. I will show you one, but I have 10 in here, which once they're sliced open will be like 20 beans. So that you usually go 1 cup of vodka for 5 vanilla beans. So I am going to have 20 vanilla beans because you have to slice them in half long ways, and that's why I have the 4 cups of vodka. So stay tuned. Okay, welcome back. All my vanilla beans are in the jar. Just a quick note, I had to cut them in half lengthwise because you want to make sure all your beans are below the vodka line. So I have 1 bean that I do need to push down in there, but the rest are submerged under the vodka. Just a quick note, I've never dealt with real vanilla beans before, so I sliced them in half, which they're thicker than I thought they would be, and they're soft. It's a weird texture. I thought they were going to kind of be hard. I don't know why, but they're not. But you have to really push your knife through to cut them in half. I guess like a long raisin, I guess, is what I could compare the texture to. But once you open them up in the center, I always assumed like vanilla beans, like there was beans in the center, but there's not. It's sticky. It's almost like a syrupy consistency because it was sticking to my fingers, and I actually had to use like a knife to scrape it off of my fingers. But there's black flecks. They did settle down at the bottom that come out of it. And when I do that, I guess you could kind of see some of the flecks in the vodka. But anyway, that's what gives it the flavor, is the center part. I did scrape several of them to release those flecks right away in the vodka, but you don't have to do that. As long as you slice them open and they're open, that flavor will get in your vodka. But I did slice some open and then I scraped them to start the process of the vanilla. I never realized how easy it is to make your own homemade vanilla. Like I said, my only problem was I couldn't find the vanilla beans, so I had to order them online. Hello, welcome back to the Jack Homestead. I am in the process of making dinner, and we have lots of turkey leftovers, so I'm making a turkey and rice soup. I have leftover turkey in there. I have carrots from the garden, I have onions, and I have celery, and I have garlic, and I have kale from the garden, and then I have thyme from the garden, and some salt and pepper, some chicken stock. I did not use my turkey broth that I just made because I have a ridiculous amount of chicken broth in the cabinet. So I want to use that up first because that shelf life is not as long as my canned broth. So there's 4 cups of broth, chicken broth, and a cup of water, and then to thicken up the soup, I have a cup of half and half with some flour mixed in, and then I poured that into the soup. Over here, I have my brown rice is boiling in there. That will be added to the soup when it's done. And then we are going to have a grilled cheese with turkey and cranberry sauce.